Hello, welcome to this Q&A video brought to you by Project Elon, presented by myself, FailedTeacher. We asked you to bring us your study-related questions, and on this video, I'm going to jump straight into answering them, but stick around to the end, where I'm going to ask you a question. First question by Maria O. How to get more from lectures and focus efficiently? Funny enough, I've just done a video on this on my channel. The key points I made in that video, make sure you are listening to the lecturer, the actual person conducting the lecture. They're the ones with the knowledge, they're the ones who can give you clues, guide you through this. Don't just copy down off lecture slides, don't switch off, don't read textbooks or read your phone during the lecture. Make sure that you eat well, you sleep well, you drink plenty of water. OMG LRO asks, does he have a channel? I do. I don't know why you couldn't find it though, but we will link it. OMG LRO has another question. My brain refuses to cooperate because of chronic procrastination. I think we all go through procrastination, so don't feel alone there. You go through various stages to get out of it. The first stage you need to go through, which I think you're already doing here by asking this question, is acceptance. It's done, it's dusted, you've wasted time, accept it, just get over it. The next step is forgiving yourself. You can't turn back time. Let's not be too hard on yourself. Let's think about how we can move forward. Step 3, we're going to start moving forward. Everybody's different. Like me, sometimes that was, I'm going to go to the library right now and I'm not leaving until X is done or until 12 hours have passed. For some people, that means starting off slowly. It means, okay, I'm going to put a list of jobs I need to do. It's quite small compared to what I actually need to do, but I need to start somewhere and get the ball rolling. Cleverly relatable username. Brilliant. How do I deal with stress and anxiety in school caused by perfectionism? I really struggle with this, and this is why I call myself FailedTeacher. I expected too much of myself. I always needed to do perfect this, perfect that. Not only can it cause you stress and anxiety, it can also cause you to sort of lose marks. Even though you made this bit perfect, you forgot about that bit, and it's a nightmare. One of the best things I found useful is having a peer, having a friend, a family member, a loved one, for them to be able to tell you, you're being too perfect here. Am I being too perfect here? Yes, you are. You're being too much of a perfectionist here. You need to let this go. This is good enough how it is. Just move on. I think it comes to having faith in your ability, having confidence in what you can do, and just letting go. Amy Kadam, you've asked how to get study momentum. Now, I think it's a great question. I think some other people picked up on it as well. How do we get going and build it up? For me, it's starting small, but thinking big. So you might be thinking, today I'm only getting this job done, but by the end of the week, I want to have all these jobs done. So it might be on Monday, we only read 2 chapters, but on Tuesday, we're going to read 3. Wednesday, we're going to read 4. Friday, we're going to read 5, building on top of what you've done. The idea of reading 3 chapters right now might be too hard, but when you get up to 3 chapters and you start building to 4, to building to 5, reading 3 chapters is a breeze. That's easy. 5 chapters is now what's hard, but then you go on to 6 and 7. That's how it is. You grow. The key is being determined, being consistent, keeping at it, stay motivated. Vina B asks, what makes you motivated every time? What makes you motivated every time is asking yourself, what is your why? Why are we doing this in the first place? Why are we going to school? Other than the fact that you might have to due to law. Why are we going to school? Why are we going to work? Why are we studying this? Why are we doing self-study? Why are you doing 12 hours in the library? What's your goal? Is it to get qualified? Is it to get a job? Is it to get money? Is it to get material stuff? Is it just because it's your dream to do this? Think about your why. That is what's important. That's how I'm motivated every day. I want to be successful on YouTube. I want to be successful in my career. I want to pay off my mortgage. I want my house paid for. I want some material things. I'm not going to lie. There's a car that I want. All these things build into my motivation. That's my why. How to be motivated every day? You've got to go to your roots and think, why am I doing this? Why am I working hard every single day? It's easy to get motivated for one day, but getting motivated for every day, that comes from inside, and that's where you've got to really think, what is my why? Siddharth Ranjan, you think that school is a waste of time, that very little is being taught, and that you think you can do better by self-studying. I think that's a great question, not a simple answer. I think the idea of going to self-study is great, but you've got to make sure you are successful. If you are going to leave school, have a plan in place and make sure that plan is ironclad solid, and that your plan, your results are far better than what you could have done if you stayed in school. Anupan Singh, how can I maintain a balance between school, coaching and your self-study? You know, that's actually a really great question, because when I was teaching, I had a lot of projects on. So what I did, and I think I've got a picture to show you, is I got an academic calendar. This was September to September, which is what our academic year is, when school starts, school ends. First thing I did is I put all my key dates, when my exams were, when my course assignment dates were, and I color-coded it. So it was like green for teaching, red for classwork, blue for self-study. And then once I put all them on my calendar, I could see all the gaps I have, and I started to fill those gaps with, yeah, I'll study here and I'll study there. I've got some space in this week, so I'll study that. Okay, I know it might be tempting just to think, okay, 2 hours study, 2 hours coaching, 2 hours self-study. But the issue you give yourself there is not every week's going to work out like that. Things will happen in the week which will change your schedule, and what's the best thing to do is have a calendar. Maybe you can get a calendar on your phone. Most phones have a calendar. Put all your key dates on there and put what you plan to do each week on there, and then you can change dates and stuff. So say, for example, we're on Monday and you think, I'm not going to have time to do my studying I wanted to do this afternoon. You can move it to later on in the week and still stay organised. And I think actually that's what I'm trying to say. Be organised. Get all your key dates down on a calendar, on your phone, and work around them. Comrade Raj, is there a most effective way to study? Because it feels like I study for hours and learn nothing. I think we've all been there, so don't feel alone. First of all, making sure that you're eating right, you're drinking right, you're sleeping right. Make sure your body's at optimal performance. What you got to consider, if you're spending hours on a piece of work and you're coming away from it thinking, I've learned nothing, that was useless, you're going to have to change the way you're doing things. Now, it might be you're a different kind of learner to what you're currently doing. Say, for example, you are reading a textbook. You're reading this textbook for hours on end and you're coming to the end, it's not sinking in, I'm not getting it. Then think about other ways you could learn. Maybe watch some videos. Maybe listen to some people speak about this topic. Maybe, depending on what you're doing, maybe try and go out and do it physically with your hands. It might be that you learn differently. And so maybe change up what you're doing and see if that makes a difference. Because you don't want to be spending hours for it to be going nowhere. Okay? It's not so much, as it's quite often said, don't work harder, don't work longer, work smarter. Think about how you're learning, how effective that is. Chaksu Wei, I want to say, again, sorry if I mispronounce, how to remember something you've read when you've got an exam 7 months later. I'm going to be honest, if your exam's 7 months later, I would probably not be doing any sort of revision into much closer to time. It's really hard to remember something after 7 months have passed. But if in case of some scenario you need to, it's going to be quite difficult, but it can be done. The best way is to have, I think, mind maps. Mind maps are brilliant. I always say mind maps because you are literally mapping information into your brain. So if you have your topic and you have lines coming out of it, if you have a mind map and you're concentrating on every day, it's something small that you can carry around with you. When it comes to the exam 7 months later, you can visualize that mind map. If you do it right, you can see it in front of your eyes and you can see all the bits and pieces of information that you need. That's the best advice, but it's going to be hard. It depends what kind of learner you are and how you go about remembering stuff. So it's about finding what works for you and what's the best way to remember. But also remember, there's a difference between learning and remembering. When you learn something, I guarantee it goes in your brain a whole lot easier. And when you're remembering something and it's something you don't really want to remember, you're not interested in, it's just to do an exam, it's much harder for you to retain that information. So think less about remembering, more about learning and enjoying what you're doing. Annie Humphrey, how do morning routines look like and how do you maintain your whole day and don't procrastinate? So my morning routine normally starts with some water, normally some coffee. I normally have some porridge, some oats, normally some fruit. I really start off my day positive. I normally do some light stretches, maybe some exercise, maybe I go for a run. It's not necessary that you get up early, like as in early in the morning, but try and get up a bit earlier than you need to. Give yourself that time to relax, be happy. But the biggest key to morning routines, I think, is talking to someone. I talk to my wife a lot, but in the morning, it's special. Even though it's small talk, what's happening today or who's in work today, that sort of personal touch, personal relationship always puts a smile on my face, makes me feel good, makes me feel ready to take on the day. And in regards to carrying that on for the whole day and not procrastinating, I think I've already picked up on that on a previous question, is about being focused, being determined, and just getting jobs done down that you need to do. And I'm going to put that to an end. Sorry if I didn't quite answer your question, or I didn't answer all your questions. There's only so much we can do in one video. Now, I want to ask you a question. So we talked about before, how to be motivated all the time. You need to ask yourself, what is your why? So that's my question for you. What is your why? Let us know in your comments below. I'd love to go through them in another video, or maybe I'll just speak to you through the comments, depending on what me and Project Elon have planned for the future. If you do want to see another Q&A video, ask some questions below, give this video a thumbs up, and we'll go from there. Details to get in touch with me will be below. And you know what? Thank you. I've really enjoyed doing this video. So thank you. I hope I can do more, and I hope to see you again.